is I did my undergraduate at Carnegie Mellon, the Bachelor's in Fine Arts, basically studying painting, printmaking, and a little bit of electronic time-based sort of animation. And then when I graduated there, I came out to University of Southern California for a master's in animation. So I graduated there in 2003 with an MFA in digital art and animation. So I've been working professionally as an animator since 2003, and now I'm trying to really promote myself as more of a fine artist in addition to an animator, because I think it's a good balance of commercial and like personal work. I remember I knew of it through, I think, the website and through friends of friends, because it's all about girls in animation. And then I knew Anne because I worked over at Film Roman. I'm like, Anne, get me on Girls Growing Girls. And so she introduced me to Melody. And then this was like last year, and so I was working on my blog, doing drawings every day and trying to just work up, doing more like pinup girl style stuff. And I talked to them at Comic-Con and left like a sample of my work. And then about like a month and a half ago, they finally emailed me back going, "We have an opening, would you like to be interested?" And I'm like, yes, I would. And I really I've been really interested in sort of like the feminine form and sort of the role of like the female figure in art and how that relates to me as a woman and as an artist.
Well, very cool. You actually answered my other question about what was your perspective on pinup art. So let's talk about your artwork right now that I'm seeing right here. Angel del Fuego.
That is acrylic on wood panel, and this was inspired by actually a real life event that happened to me. The big Cisne fire that happened in San Fernando Valley back in November. It swept through the canyon where I keep my horse, and so I drove up to go check on her, and I ended up having to drive through the canyon while it was still like smoldering. I mean, the firefighters let me through to drive back to the stable, and it was just this most eerie sight of just this barren canyon with like skeletal trees just sort of still smoldering and like blinking in like the light under this like pale moonlight. It was so moving, like sort of like made the hairs on your arm like raise. And so I wanted to do a piece that was really personal and kind of about that experience. And I was thinking about the sort of entity of like this demon or goddess of the Southern California wildfires, because every year Southern California has like these wildfires that sweep through. And in one form, fire can be this really destructive, like very negative force, but it's also this positive, renewing, sort of cleansing force. So it's sort of this Shiva-like goddess where it's dangerous and destructive, and it goes through and just kind of, will scalp an entire canyon like that. But right now, with all the rain and, since November, there's been all this green, like, vegetation and flowers and everything growing out of the ashes because the soil is so much more fertile from the fire. And so I've seen this rejuvenation of the whole canyon sort of take place from all the devastation that happened. So and I was thinking about
the alpha and the omega, so like the end and the beginning.
Yeah, and thinking about this, the fire as this force of nature, about this, embodied in this sort of demon or goddess sort of figure that comes and just, And it sort of also reflects Los Angeles in that people come here to recreate themselves, to be reborn as this new entity, and
Oh wow!
So it's very deep.